Yes. Thank God those have come along already. Up next for us to be able to hear from and being inducted into the Alumni Distinguished Hall of Fame. So, Cabachuela.
Kind of short, sorry. Good evening, everyone. I'm very humbled and honored to be receiving this award. I'd like to start with offering my sincerest gratitude to David and Carlo over there in table 7. She doesn't want to look, she's over there. Who nominated me, Dr. Gerard, right over there, for making this great event happen, and MHS administration for creating a great environment as a former student and now staff member. I currently wear a few hats. I'm parent liaison at Mundelein High School, village clerk at Mundelein, president of the Latino Police Academy, but most important, I'm a mother and wife. I'd like to acknowledge my husband, Salvador, for holding down the fort while I'm off planning school events, attending board meetings, or preparing sessions for the Latino Police Academy. I must mention that he's also a great cook, and he does that often. Also, my daughters, Naomi and Sophia, for having the patience and open heart to share me with other students. Growing up, I was taught the value of hard work. My dad graduated with honors as a biochemist in the small town of Mundelein, Michoacan. My mom worked at a flower shop in a nearby city called Uruguay. My 2 older brothers were born in Mexico, and shortly after, my parents knew they wanted to raise their family in the U.S. My dad came to the U.S. in '84, and my mom followed shortly after in '85. My mom, along with my 2 brothers, one a toddler, the other an infant, made the trek with my aunts. They left behind their family, their careers, everything they knew, and took the leap of faith to the unknown into a new country with different traditions and language. Once in the U.S., my parents both worked 2 jobs to make ends meet. I remember my brothers and I getting ourselves ready for school, doing our homework, and every Saturday morning pulling loads of laundry on a wagon to the laundromat about 2 miles away. We really hated it when it would go over a bump and all the clothes would go flying. I was the very first out of my whole family to be born in the U.S. My parents didn't know English, so naturally our first language was Spanish. We learned English by watching Saturday morning cartoons and going to Euclid Elementary School in Mount Prospect, Illinois. As a kid, my family didn't have much. I remember wearing clothes from the clothes drive, receiving food from the local food pantry, and seeing our family name on the Christmas giving tree at Randers Mall. Nonetheless, I had a great childhood. My parents worked hard to make sure we had everything we needed. We humbly celebrated our birthdays, and I remember taking a road trip to Disney at the age of 5. By the grace of God, our old orange Ford Fiesta made it to Florida and back. We stayed at a small hotel, ate bean and avocado sandwiches, but had an absolute great time. One of the first defining moments in my childhood was in the 3rd grade. I could speak English pretty well. Reading and writing was still a little bit of a struggle. My teacher announced there would be a school spelling bee, and a few students would be chosen to participate. To my surprise, I was one of them. The day of the spelling bee came, round 1, 2, and 3 happened, and I was still up there. Soon it was just me and another girl, and even I was surprised. I got nervous and spelled secretary wrong. My opponent did the same. They gave me another word, tobacco. I got nervous again and added an extra B. My opponent then spelled it correctly and won the spelling bee. Even though I had lost, I still couldn't believe what happened. I remember thinking to myself that if I worked hard, I could accomplish anything I wanted. After Euclid, I attended River Trails Middle School, and just before I was about to start Hersey, my family moved to Mundelein in the summer of '01. By then, my parents had started to build their own business and bought their first home where they still live on South Lakeshore Drive. Even though Mundelein is only about 40 minutes away from Mount Prospect, to me, it felt like a whole other world. I remember telling my old friends that Mundelein had actual cornfields and an alpaca farm on Diamond Lake. Like a typical teenager, I dreaded the first day of high school, especially because I didn't know anyone. I told myself I would be open-minded and make the best out of it. I can honestly say that my 4 years at MHS were great. I remember taking driver's ed with Mr. Perola, learning about different countries in Mr. McCarthy's class, listening to Dr. Gerard's very interesting stories in psychology, and being the only female in Mr. Stennett's AutoCAD class in Tech Campus. I went on to receive my bachelor's in interior design at Westwood College. My career started as a floor planning analyst at Sears Holdings and later as a senior space management analyst at Walgreens headquarters. The love for volunteer work started when my husband and I became parents and we understood the importance of being involved. We wanted to make sure we were aware of everything that was going on in the AME school, so we signed up to help at parties and attend conferences. I also started translating the PTO post for her school. I thought to myself, I have a gift of knowing 2 languages, and I bet there are parents out there who need this information as well. This summer, at the age of 32, I listened to the little voice in my head that kept telling me to do what really made my heart happy. I now hold the very first parent liaison position at MHS, which has been challenging and rewarding at the same time. I get to do things like community outreach, build relationships with their Latino families, and collaborate with feeder school contexts to ensure the transition into MHS is as smooth as can be. I currently am part of the BPEC board at Hawthorne Dual Language and mentor with the Kids Hope program at Carl Sandburg. I'm also the only bilingual elected official at the Village of Mundelein as village clerk. I truly believe that our circumstances in life and experiences are not a coincidence. I believe it prepares us for what we truly will become in the future. I shared a few moments of my memories as a kid with you because those experiences have made me what I am today. When I volunteer to help a family during Christmas time, I'm serving the child I once was. When I translate documents, I'm serving the parents who were like my parents at one point. When I attend board meetings at Village Hall, I am demonstrating that women, and especially women of color, can also hold positions of influence. Someone once asked me, what motivates me to do what I do each day? My response was, I aspire to be the person I wish my parents had when they moved to the US. I am blessed and very grateful for the opportunities that life has offered me. When I learned that I was nominated by Mr. Carlo, I was surprised. I was taken more aback when I learned that the other nominees held titles like Fire Chief, Cell and Molecular Biologist, CEO, Director of Medline, Zoo Scientist, Aeronautical Space, and so on. I'm just me, and I'm very honored to be among all these accomplished men and women. I'd like to end with a quote from the Spanish filmmaker Pedro Almodóvar. Una es más auténtica, mientras más se parece a lo que soñó de sí misma, which translates into, a woman is at her most authentic when she resembles the image she has dreamt of herself. Thank you again for this award. I'm one of those fortunate people who goes home each day knowing that I make a difference in my community. My greatest reward is serving others. Thank you.